storms and promises. The first wave of trouble came the way most storms do in Lagos, sudden and loud. One morning, Ijeoma woke up to her phone buzzing uncontrollably. At first, she thought it was a mistake, maybe an emergency alert or one of her group chats exploding. But as her sleepy fingers unlocked her phone screen, the harsh reality hit her. There, splashed across a popular gossip blog, was a photo of her and Aki. They were sitting side by side at a quiet cafe, the one they thought had been hidden enough. The headline screamed, Aki Alabi's new mystery girl, gold digger or genuine love? Ijoma's stomach twisted painfully. The article was cruel, speculating about her background, questioning her intentions, digging into her university records, even posting photos of her old, modest home in the village. Strangers were already commenting, judging, hurling insults she had never imagined she'd hear attached to her name. Tears stung her eyes as she scrolled through the flood of opinions, most of them very ugly. Before she could even think about what to do, her phone rang. It was Aki. I saw it, he said immediately, his voice low and tight with anger. I'm so sorry, Ijoma. She wiped her tears roughly. It's not your fault. It is, he insisted. This is my world. It's messy. And now you are caught in it because of me. There was a long pause. I understand if you want to walk away, he said finally, the hurt hidden beneath his careful words. You don't deserve this madness. Ijoma closed her eyes, the weight of fear and sadness pressing on her chest. She had always wanted a quiet life, a life of meaning, yes, but not one lived under the microscope of gossip blogs and bitter strangers. And yet, when she thought about Aki, the way he looked at her, the way he believed in her dreams, the way he had never once made her feel small, she knew something clearly. Walking away from him would mean walking away from something real, something she might never find again. I'm scared, she whispered honestly, but I'm not leaving. On the other end of the line, she heard Aki's breath hitch. Ijoma. His voice was rough now, full of something fierce and tender at all at once. I'll protect you. I swear it. I won't let them hurt you. She believed him, but deep inside, she also knew some battles she would have to fight on her own. The world would judge her. They would paint her in whatever colors they chose, but only she could decide which truths to hold onto. She chose love. She chose courage. She chose him and herself. Later that evening, they met in person at Aki's private residence, away from the flashing cameras and hungry eyes. No bodyguards, no noise, just the two of them. Aki pulled her into his arms as soon as she stepped inside, holding her tightly, protectively. For a long time, neither said anything. Finally, he pulled back just enough to look into her eyes. You are stronger than you know, he said, his hand brushing her cheek gently. And you are not alone in this. Ijeoma smiled. A small, tremulous smile, but a real one. Neither are you, she whispered. And so, under the bruised sky of a city that never truly slept, they made a silent promise to each other. Whatever storms came, they would stand together, not as a billionaire and a village girl, not as headline and scandal, but as two hearts, stubborn and brave enough to believe in something pure, in each other, temptations and loyalties. In every love story, there comes a test, a moment when the strength of a bond is laid bare for all to see. For Akin and Ijeoma, that moment was about to arrive. It started innocently enough. Akin had a major business conference in Dubai. 3 days after meetings, panels, and high profile networking. It wasn't unusual. His schedule had always been intense, but this time everything felt different. This time he was leaving behind something, someone precious. I'll miss you, Ijoma said, trying to smile brightly as they stood in the driveway of his home. Her arms were wrapped around herself as if she were shielding her heart. I'll call you every night, Aki promised, squeezing her hand. This, you and me, it's the most important thing in my life now. Don't ever doubt that. And yet, doubt is a seed that grows fastest in absence. The second night of his trip, Ijeoma's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. She opened it and immediately her heart dropped. It was a photo. Ake sitting at a hotel bar, drink in hand, a stunning woman leaning far too close to him, her smile sly and knowing. The caption beneath it was cruelly simple. Men will always be men. Ijoma stared at it, her mind spinning. She knew the woman, at least by name. Shade Balogun, a model, socialite, and once Akin's rumored flame. The media loved her, the very embodiment of Lagos luxury and scandal. The rational part of Ijeoma's mind fought to stay calm. You trust him. He promised you. Photos lie. But the image burned itself into her heart. For hours she wrestled with it, replaying every conversation, every promise, every fear she hadn't dared to voice. By midnight, she couldn't take it anymore. She called him. It rang once, twice. On the third ring, he answered, his voice low and warm. Ijoma, he said, smiling even through the phone. I was just about to call you. She didn't even say hello. Who is she? She blurted out, hating the tremble in her voice. A bit of silence. Then Akin's voice, calm but serious. Where did you see that? Someone sent me a picture, she whispered. You and and Shade? He sighed heavily. Hmm, Ijoma, listen to me carefully. Yes, Shade was there. Yes, she tried to approach me. She wanted a scene. She wanted to rattle me, to rattle us. But I walked away. I don't know what to believe, Ijoma said, her heart breaking even as she said it. Believe me, he said fiercely. You have my heart, Ijeoma. I don't want anyone else. Not ever again. His voice cracked slightly at the end. Raw, vulnerable, real. I've been tempted before, Aki continued, more softly now, but no one has ever made me choose them the way you do. No one has ever been worth the risk. You are. Ijoma closed her eyes, letting the words soak into her. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy, but it was real. I'm scared, she admitted again, her voice barely a whisper. So am I, Aki said, his tone gentle, but I'd rather be scared with you than safe without you. Tears slid down her cheeks silently, not from pain this time, but from the fierce, aching relief of being chosen. I love you, she whispered before she could stop herself. The line went still. Then Aki spoke, each word thick with emotion. I love you too, Ijoma, more than I ever thought I could love anyone. That night, thousands of miles apart, but closer than ever, they chose each other again. Not because it was easy, not because it was safe, but because love, real love, was worth the fight, and they were ready to fight for it together. The proposal. Weeks passed after the Dubai incident, and with every day, Aki and Ijoma grew stronger. They faced the world's judgment, its whispers, its doubts, and every time they chose each other, not out of obligation, but out of something deeper, something fierce and enduring. Aki had always been a man of action. When he wanted something, he didn't hesitate. And now he was sure of one thing: he didn't just want Ijoma by his side, he needed her forever. The plan came together quietly. No grand press announcements, no glittering balloons or ballrooms. Just something true, something personal, like the way their love has always been. He invited Ijoma to what he said would be a small dinner to celebrate the successful launch of one of her new community projects. She thought nothing of it. She was used to his thoughtful gestures now. The dinner was set at a private garden hidden deep inside one of Lagos' oldest estates. Candles floated in glass bowls on a still pond. Soft music played, blending into the warm evening air. The scent of jasmine wrapped around them like a blessing. When Ijoma arrived, she stopped in awe. Aki, this is, it's beautiful, she said, her voice trembling slightly. Not as beautiful as you are, he said simply, stepping forward to take her hand. They walked together through the garden, passing handwritten signs posted along the path, signs that made Ijoma pause again and again. The first time I knew you were different. Another read. The first time you made me believe in forever. The first time I realized I couldn't imagine life without you. At the final sign, she turned and found Aki on one knee. Time seemed to freeze. Ijoma covered her mouth with her hands, tears already shining in her eyes. Aki's voice was steady, but his heart was pounding louder than any drum. Ijoma, he said, looking up at her as if she were his entire world. I spent years thinking my success was enough, but then I met you and I realized none of it meant anything if I didn't have someone to share it with. He took a small velvet box from his pocket, opening it to reveal a ring. Simple, elegant, timeless, just like her. You saw me when I felt invincible, he continued. You loved me without asking for anything in return. You are my home, my peace, my future. He held the ring up toward her, his heart in his hands. Will you marry me? The world around them, the candles, the pond, the stars, blurred as Ijoma looked down at him. This man, this powerful, flawed, extraordinary man who had chosen her, who saw her not as a prize to be won, but as a partner, an equal, a heart to cherish. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she nodded, her voice catching on a sob of pure happiness. Yes, yes, she whispered, then louder, laughing through her tears. Yes, Aki, 1,000 times yes. Aki slipped the ring onto her finger with trembling hands, then stood and pulled her into his arms. For a long, beautiful moment, they simply held each other under the African sky, the universe around them bearing silent witness. No cameras, no crowds, just two souls promising forever. In that moment, beneath the stars, Aki Alabi, the billionaire, and Ijoma, the village girl from a small town, became something even richer than either had ever dreamed of. They became a family. The end.